Well, what is up, all of our liberty-loving friends? This is the Good Morning Liberty podcast live from FreedomFest in South Dakota. My name is Nate Thurston. This is Charlie Thompson, and to my right here, is Vanessa Porras.
Vanessa Porras.
Did I do better?
Yeah, you did better.
Okay, I felt
You had some flair
so
with it,
nervous
too.
right now. Okay, from the Atlas Society. Vanessa, how are you doing today?
Good. I'm doing pretty good. Very excited to be here.
So you've got an interesting story, and I think it would be best if we learn really most about it while we're right here recording this at the moment. But I just want to let everyone know you actually are from Venezuela.
Yes.
Right? And how long ago was that you left there?
I left 4 years ago. I've been here for 4 years, and I couldn't be more happy to be here. I think, this country has given me the opportunity to actually be free and to enjoy what you guys have.
So just give us a little bit of the background, if you don't mind, on why you left the beautiful Venezuela.
Well, as you might know, we live under socialism, actually under communism. We have a dictator. We have been under dictatorship for almost 22 years. It has been awful. We have no medicines, no food. There's no way to actually be free. Individual rights are not respected. There's no freedom of speech, for example. So it's a very, very sad country to live in. I actually came here because I was chased and beaten by the same, by the same military, the same army of the country, and that's pretty sad to tell, but that's how I came here.
So what I'm wondering about is what the situation, what the conditions were like there. Did you see it get continuously worse as you got older? Was it always the way that it is right now, or did it really change in the last 6-7 years? Yeah.
Yes, it got worse. At first we did have some food, and then we ended up having nothing, and it gets worse every day. And I think we're almost Cuba. Mm-hmm. We're going to get to be like Cuba, and that's something I think you guys have to understand and see how it somehow could affect the U.S. too. The danger is right at your door.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. So do you remember a time in Venezuela when it was better and you kind of saw the decline?
Yeah, definitely. When it was probably less than 9 years old. When I was like 9 is when all this started. So I did have a normal life. But yeah, I was so little. I know people that have never met freedom, that has never lived under anything else but communism.
What were some of the things that surprised you so much when you came to America, leaving that place that you noticed was so different when you came here?
I used to come every summer because I have family here, and the impact wasn't that much. But I was surprised to see the diversity of food in the shelves. We don't have that. Shelves are empty, so it's great to be able to pick the product you want and just go for whatever is best for you. We don't have that.
Except for maybe during the pandemic when there was a run on the grocery stores.
Exactly. I actually said, the pandemic is exactly, what you live during the pandemic is pretty much what we live in Venezuela every day.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
That's rough.
Now, what we're told is that what's going on in Venezuela, it's not because of socialism. It's not because of communism. Right now, it's because Maduro is a terrible person.
Right,
and if we just had the right dictator in charge, then everything would be okay. And that actually some of it is America's fault as well. Of course, we get that. But you think it's more the ideology, the economic system that they have going on there?
Yeah, of course. It's communism. It's socialism. I get a lot of people, I get a lot of comments from people saying that some dictatorships are good and some dictatorships are less good. And I find that so ridiculous. All dictatorships are bad. And a socialist is a socialist. And it will end up, driving you to communism. That's what you can expect from that, and I'm very worried about you guys.
Yeah.
What do you see? What are you seeing right now that makes you so worried about it?
Well, there are a lot of socialists that think that that's the way to go. People that are against capitalism, against individual rights. People like AOC, for example, Bernie Sanders. that are campaigning to take this country to a Venezuelan type of level, and I don't think you guys need that at all.
Well, and what they argue is they argue like the Denmark, promises,
Right.
but their policies are Venezuelan and
Right.
Cuba-like
Right.
policies. So it's
Exactly.
so crazy. So you're with the Atlas Society.
Yes.
Describe what you do there. Are you helping Latin America through the Atlas Society? Like what are you doing there?
So we're all about reason, self-achievement, and how capitalism is the way to go and how the way to achieve everything you need and want. And we're based on the works of Ayn Rand. So that's pretty much what we do. And I'm the director of strategy and operations for Latin America.
That's great. We're really big Ayn Rand fans. I know
really?
we talked about
That's
this a
awesome.
little bit the other day, but not so much the fiction work. But I do love all the essays that have been put together in
That's
books.
awesome.
Capitalism, the Unknown Ideal, and the Virtuous Selfishness. All of that. I love those. Listen to them on repeat sometimes.
That's
and
great.
Do things like that, or maybe even Atlas Shrugged, some of the more popular works.
Mm-hmm.
Were you able to get any of those things in Venezuela, or did you find out about those later? Are those books allowed?
They are allowed, but since we don't even get food, we're not gonna get books,
Yeah.
And what I found what I like about Ayn Rand is that it is eye-opening. I mean, she's eye-opening. Her books are eye-opening, and I think right now it's a good time to actually make the Latin people read her and understand what actually capitalism is about and socialism, and how socialism is definitely not the way to go. When we are there, we don't know anything else but socialism. Actually, there's only one party that is not socialist, and that's what we have always known there.
And they're probably communist.
They're probably yes.
So, staying on Ayn Rand for a second. When you talk about capitalism and free market, laissez-faire capitalism, any of that, what you hear is that it's all greed. It's terrible. These evil corporations, they're going to run the world. Greed is evil. Profit is obviously evil. It makes everything more expensive. It's stealing the surplus value from the workers, things like that. But the profit incentive, the ability to own private property, that's kind of what Venezuela needs right now, isn't it?
Exactly. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. They don't respect private property in Venezuela.
I'm sure.
Yeah, actually, if you have several properties, you're supposed to not have them. People take them. I mean, the government takes that away from you because there's people that actually need to live in your house. It's definitely not the way to go. There are no private companies anymore. They all belong to the state. So there's no production, no national production, and we need to import. And most of that importation comes from countries like Iran and China and Russia and, of course, all the allies of the government.
What I want to know is, what would you say to people, young people even, that are on the left and seeing this move towards socialism, and maybe they agree with it. They think there's a lot of problems in our country and we need the government to solve it. The rich are ruining everything and we need to take their property from them. What would you say to them to stop them from doing this, or maybe consider a different direction?
I think people want to live in socialism because they haven't lived it. So they don't know how it's like to want to eat something and not being able to have it, or actually to not eat more than one meal a day, or to live without internet, or to live without electricity. So if they see themselves living that way, I welcome them to move to Venezuela. But if it's ridiculous. They wouldn't be able to live in a place like that.
They just think they need the right dictator to run everything, and then
Right,
the benevolent
right.
dictator to run everything.
Right.
Yeah, and what do you say when they say, well, that's not real socialism? That's not
Oh, it is real socialism.
Yeah.
You don't know what real socialism if you haven't lived it. That's
Right.
what I have to say.
And so that's what I find so interesting, is that you actually, you experienced it. And so I find it fascinating that people on the left can still say, well, that's not real socialism, even when you're like, no, I lived it.
Yeah.
I escaped.
They would say that to you.
Right.
That
Right.
wasn't real socialism.
They beat me. I have problems in my back because they beat me because I wasn't supporting the government. So, I have it very, in me. I'm living it. I know what it's like, and I don't want you guys to go through that.
Well, where can people go to see the work that you guys are doing so they can find everything that's going on?
So you can go to atlassociety.org, or you can find us on social media as Atlas Society or the Atlas Society. And we also just opened our new Latin American part of the Atlas Society. That's called Sociedad Atlas. So you can find us like that too if you're interested. Yeah.
And you're also supporting Cuba as well? I know you mentioned
Obviously,
that.
yeah. I hope Cuba, things go better in Cuba. I think they're ready to end with this, and I'm hoping that if things go well in Cuba, they might go well in Venezuela, because we're controlled by Cubans too. So
What we need is the idea of self-ownership to spread
Yes.
among all
Yes.
those countries.
Yes.
And I really hope it does. Well, Vanessa, thank you so much for your time today.
Thank you. You guys
It was
are
a pleasure
amazing.
talking to you. Thank you.